It is majestic.
Hello! We are back for the last hour, where we will... I was going to say we're going to end off the story. Nah. You're going to kill the bad guy. No. But thank you everyone for the bits and the support and the hosts and all the good stuff. It makes me feel so happy for my first show to be going well. I hope it's good. Give any and all feedback after the fact.
Listen, dude, your subs are overflowing your fucking glass, okay? That's just amazing. I mean, I'm not Ollie, but I'm going to say on behalf of Ollie, fuck yeah. Ollie's a great guy. Fuck
Alright,
yeah.
Enough stroking my ego and perhaps other things. You can't see what I'm doing behind
the desk. Ollie's a fucking creep. Call PayPal, get your money back. Fucking creep.
This is a person whose character has been fiddling with himself for the last couple
That's
of
true. You've been
stroking his beard. That's what...
All he tells me to. All he tells me
Okay,
must
so where we left off, you would just camp for a night. Oh no, Caitlin, the forager, didn't forage anything. What a horrible shame. You keep on going the next day. I'm sorry, Gilwyn, you have to eat elven lambus bread for your dinner.
It's better than goblin.
It is better than goblin, but it never leaves you feeling full enough. It's made for elves. Elves don't have that much of an appetite. They're the kind of people that go to restaurants and eat tiny amounts for the flavour. You want a meal, and you're having this cold slab of sort of... It's not quite the material. It's like pita bread, but not really.
Yeah.
Not quite. Not what you want, but it does the job. You have enough power to keep going. The next day, you do just that. You keep walking. And Caitlin has more stories to tell. In fact, Caitlin, I need to check what you're good at, because if you didn't know, similar to Scott's stream on Fridays, all of these characters have hidden strengths and hidden weaknesses based on their backstories.
Mine don't relate to history of
It's
radio
not
or
history, so you would just have a flat history check, but no one else would even has a chance to roll. If they did, it would have disadvantage.
Okay.
So give me a flat history check as you're walking. You know you're walking towards the turquoise wall. It is the section between...
Go -1 history!
It was section between the elven lands and the dwarven lands. You know you're going up to a turquoise wall. There is a keep nearby. It's actually hidden from sight. Not through illusions, just through perfect placement. It's hidden from sight, and it is a keep that has sort of a token garrison at this point now. Very token garrison to guard the wall. The Elfin Lands is actually one of the few places where they check people coming in and out of the territory. In say the connection between the Dwarven Lands and the Human Lands that Gilwyn has gone through recently. He didn't even know that he'd crossed the property until he was like, someone told him. You wouldn't know. But in the Elven Lands, you're getting checked. Whether or not you need paperwork is a different thing. You just need to have reasons and not be super suspicious. Some of you are super suspicious. It's sort of early evening when you get to the turquoise wall. Caitlin is describing the keep around the corner, but you can see there's a couple of tents outside. The turquoise wall is, it's a fairly large wall with a gate. The gate is perfectly built to go over the road that you're walking on, and this brilliant road you've been walking on for a long time. You can also tell that almost exactly outside the wall, past the gate, brilliant cobblestone road, kind of crappy dirt track. Almost instantly, it's like the elves maintenance this road and then stop on the line. It's not their job anymore. But the gate is open. You can see that there are gates that could be closed. The turquoise wall itself is a metal. It's not made of viridian, the green metal. It's actually painted turquoise, and you can see it's very old. Most of that paint is cracked off and fleckled away.
Yeah.
But you can approach. It's late, but the guards there's 2 guards are standing around a sconce, which is lighting them up, and they're wearing the exact same armor that the Iradian guards that you saw 2 days ago were wearing. One of them goes up to you. They're both pure elves. They have spears and maybe short swords as well, but you're fairly sure there's more weapons in their tents. He actually, wearing a helmet, looks kind of old. Like his hair is white, his eyes are drooping and sad. It's almost like he's been left out here to die. But you're like, yeah, you're retired. He's like, what's your business traveling at this time of night?
I would immediately go up or offer a hand and good evening, sir. We were just going to pass through the wall and go on a little bit further before we camp for the night. Actually, we're on our way to Crimson Mountain. We've been hired to do some investigations there.
Hired? By whom?
I'm not sure that concerns you, other than it is too small a name for you to recognize, were we to tell you.
Yes, it isn't. It isn't big. I would chime in.
I
yes,
like you turned it around from full sass to, but still persuasion roll.
Hey.
He kind of like nods a little bit, like that's actually kind of an acceptable answer. Talks to the other one in a little bit of quiet Elvish. Sure, the ones of you that can speak Elvish would be able to learn, but it's very hush hush, kind of almost in small talk too. And he nods back and is, I'm just going to need all of your names, and has basically like a notepad, and licks the end of a quill, starts writing. Do you give all the names? Do you give your real names as well? Is the
well, I'd say I'm Caitlin Halen, sir, and then sort of turn to the others.
Yeah.
I'm a
Gilwyn.
dwarf.
Wait your turn, Farrow. It's my turn next. Gilwyn Gallagher. You've probably heard of my father. He's a pretty famous bard around here.
Oh, is he? I have not heard of your father.
Shh.
Neither have I. I was surprised that you did not mention this earlier, actually.
You'll have to tell us all about him, Gilwen.
The elf just is just waiting for this conversation to continue in his presence. He's just got the quill like raised, like for someone else to say their name. Honestly.
So your father, is he play music?
Yes, not as well as me, obviously, but he's pretty well known. He's been around.
Does he sing like fairy too?
Sure. Oh yes, he does.
Can I just point out at this point that the poor guard here is waiting for the two of you haven't given your names yet.
Yes, names.
Guard gets paid if we say names now or if we say names in morning. So your father, did he make a song that we would know?
My name is Eriver Velenair.
Fills it out. Waiting on the dwarf.
Have you ever heard of
And
the
this
song?
is Forak Stonefoot.
What? That is not. That is
Writes
not my
it
name.
down. Even as the
That is
dwarf's
not
like,
my
what?
name.
He's just writing it down. Like, you can
Come on,
make up
Mr.
a fake
Stonefoot, let's
name
get
if you
inside.
wish.
His name is
My
Pointy Ear
paperwork.
Fake Cock. You take any name, you shitty guard.
He slowly closes the notebook.
I apologise.
God's just like, you know what? I don't care enough. I'm not paid enough to deal with your shit.
Exactly.
I'm out.
Exactly. He actually does. He's like, Caitlin's trying to apologize, and he turns and goes back to the sconce because it's a cold night. Caitlin,
Is it? I didn't notice.
nah, you got a warm cloak on.
It's actually it's too fucking warm right now for me to keep wearing. I went 3 hours with the cloak on. I'm done. Okay.
We got the respect. You got the respect. You've got the edge. But yeah, he just sort of goes back across, and he does sort of say some stuff. And Caitlin, you speak Elvish, and you followed him, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I would presume I would follow him, sort of
Apologising.
half try to apologise.
He doesn't actually almost acknowledge you as apologising. Again, it's something elves do. If one conversation's more important, they're gonna have that instead of like humans or especially halflings will be like, oh no, you talk. Oh no, you talk. We can have this conversation. Actually, dwarves do this as well, but don't tell elves and dwarves they do the same thing. It's like, no, we're having this conversation. He goes, and in Elvish, it's sort of a keep an eye on that dwarf. if we see him come through again. And the other one's like, and starts actually drawing Thorak very quickly with charcoal.
Do we see that?
You see that they're talking. You can't really see what they're doing. They're like a good deal away from you right now. It's just that Caitlin followed and speaks
Just
Elvish.
keep looking at Thorak.
I imagine Caitlin's just sort of standing there with like her hand half up, just in that sort of pose of oh dear.
You have business.
Him. No, it's fine. I just wanted to apologise for my slightly surly comrades, but no matter. We won't keep you any longer, sir. And then sort of go back, muttering slightly under her breath. Oh,
The
God,
Crimson
take note of
Mountain.
him.
Yes.
I
Head
do
back.
not like this elf. He has long life and he is forced to be guard for long life. He hates his position and so he sucks at job. Puts entire community in danger. Fool.
That's pretty concise there. I wasn't expecting that sort of wisdom.
It's like how you capped it off with fool.
Yeah, it's punctuation. Really.
It's got a bit of a troubled look on her face, but Caitlin won't say anything to that.
I offer Thorak to play him some songs that I think he might enjoy later tonight.
He would listen to it. Thorak actually genuinely enjoys music. Dwarves enjoy music depending on the type, arguably more than elves do. They just, again, would never admit it.
Dwarves, they use music differently. And if you go to a dwarven mine, you'll hear a humming beat of people working, and they'll be humming while they're working. Whereas elves, if they're doing work, they usually want to be quiet and left alone. You do that. You camp just a little bit inside the dwarven lands. The change is obvious from beautiful lush forest being held in by the turquoise wall, and the wall is not metal straight up. It's got like swooping features in it and arrowed holes and all those kind of things. But some places the trees go through, and there are trees on this side. It's not like the forest immediately stops, but it kind of does. But it's obvious. You go from I can't see the horizon, there's trees, to flat, barrenish land. And Thorak is right at home. But yeah, you can find a place to camp, maybe in a little divot, maybe on top of a hill, maybe under a hill, whatever. You play a little bit of music, and you're not troubled. So,
Happy music only.
happy music, not sad music. Cheery bardic tunes.
Just yes.
Great.
Trying to make Thorak at least be somewhat.
Trying to make him smile.
Yeah.
He doesn't smile, but he does seem like he enjoys it. Like if you ever stop because they're like, oh, he doesn't seem to be enjoying it, I guess I might as well stop. He'll actually like almost immediately react and look at you and be like, are your fingers tired?
No, I just thought you went and I kick up again.
Basically, he's a cat and you like stroke him and he doesn't react at all, and then you stop and he's like, come on.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
No, I'm a cat. No.
So you always become the thing you hate.
Does that mean I'm gonna become an elf?
Who knows? There's belts that can do that kind of thing, I've heard.
Is it like the belt of de-uglification?
Oh!
Shots fired.
So, you keep moving through the Dwarven lands. Unlike the Elven lands, which honestly you weren't going through civilized areas really, Caitlin was telling you all sorts of information. Thorak is not. You are walking. You are walking quietly, contently, and without much trouble. You were passed a few times when you were going along the Elven road, but it is much more noticeable because sort of the Dwarven lands has much more roads, basically, and bigger roads. You get passed by carriages, you get passed by people on sort of like stocky Dwarven horses, and I imagine as Gilwyn, as the people who aren't dwarves see the stocky, stout Dwarven horse, kind of a little pudgy, and they're like, it's a weird-looking horse.
It's like a Skyrim horse.
It's like a Skyrim horse, but squidged even more. But, not much conversation. At
sailing.
one point, 2 days into your travel, and you've got a long way to go. This is the sort of thing where, again, you could go off and stay in villages. But why would you? You just keep going. You're walking, and you pass a fellow, a dwarven fellow in heavy armor, spearing heads onto, sticking heads onto spears by the side of the road. Just tying a ribbon around the bottom of the not bottom, middle of the spear, and then goes, and he's got a bucket full of dwarf heads, and just like
Vorak. What does this mean?
I don't know, but I say we get the weapons ready.
And my axe, which still has like the bits of
it's
goblin
still
on it from when I
like
hacked off.
grossed out. Yeah,
I'm gonna string my...
he's not even hidden.
bow then.
He's actually by the side of the road you're walking on, and it's like a fairly open area.
I'd pull my shield off, but I wouldn't pick up a weapon because he doesn't look. To me, that doesn't look like necessarily a evil dude.
You
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that. He can
I'm
see
gonna
you.
walk straight towards him with my weapon out, but I'm not like I'm just gonna walk straight towards him with my weapon out, but down by my side. I'm sorry, unless he's like diagonally off the road. in
No,
which case
he's
I'm gonna go.
golden. Don't worry about it. Oh, traveler.
What race was he again?
He is dwarf.
Dwarf, yeah.
I'll say
Big
to him,
nose, big beard, heavy armor, a bit too heavy, you know.
I walk up to him and say to him in Dwarven,
May Morden guide your past and watch your ancestors, and may Dumathoin keep your secrets hidden.
He says it right back to you. What business do you have with me? I'm doing my work. I like to be left alone.
Your work here, it says strange. We're trying to find out what it is.
Bandits. Marauders. They cause trouble in wilds. For some reason. They're spooked. We drew them all out long ago, crushed their heads, but they're coming back out of hiding. I don't know why. But these ones couldn't hide. And he like actually picks up one of the heads and goes, "Rah!" like with its jaw. Which you guys can all clearly see. You're fairly far away, and then he just like throws it, catches it, spears it into the ground.
Warning. Warning. I get it. I understand.
and so
Marauders.
in which case I'm going to put my axe away, and I'm going to pick up another head. I'm going to spear it, and I'm going to put it in the ground, and I'm going to help him.
Sure. He has like 4 heads left. You take no time at all. He doesn't talk anymore. He doesn't need to. You don't need to. You guys just watch him doing this by the side of the road.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like unstring my bow and just stand there and be like,
After
this
it's
is,
done, go ahead. Sorry.
No, literally, it was very little more than that. This is strange.
This is
Strange to watch.
I didn't think this would. Well, I don't even know what to say to this, to be quite frank.
This is a great idea for a song. And I like get out.
Sort of look at Gilwyn oddly.
But does Gilwyn have paper and a quill?
99 hits
No,
on
I
the
don't. I
side.
was about to
You,
say.
you can't write it down. Have to keep it in your
to
head.
memory.
So the after it's all said and done, he's gonna kind of look to his brother in arms here. He's gonna look to the other
Yeah.
dwarf. Then he's gonna look back at all of the heads. Which how many of them in total are lined up?
10.
10. And he's going to hold his hands like down by his beard. Because again, he still has like the cloak on and covering most of his face or whatever. And he's gonna say some sort of curse in Dwarven, like more or less like
May the goblins eat away at your bones and the elves walk on your corpse.
and then he's gonna open his hand and he's gonna blow outwards at them, and all of a sudden like an infestation of flies and stuff like that is gonna come billowing out of his hands, just kind of like swarm all around the heads and whatnot, and just like infest all of the corpses' heads with just like bugs.
Yeah. this happens. And it's the kind of thing that this area is so still, you can hear like crows. But that buzzing, and it doesn't even make sense. It's like flies buzz out and maggots spew from these people's eyes and slugs and things like that. Doesn't make sense, but it's happening. And it's gross and it's magical. And the dwarf, the dwarven punisher, was just like, strange powers, but I like you. And he like picks up his head bucket, slings it over his shoulder, and just starts walking. Actually, the way you're going.
Yep. I'll say to him before I even take another step of like,
Hey. Where may I fill your bucket?
There's no more of them yet, but where are you going, Cloak Dwarf?
I look back to Caitlin. I assume they can hear everything, and I know she speaks the Dwarven, which is what we're speaking.
Yeah, exactly. The others can't understand, but she can.
Yeah, me and Gillian just sound like. What?
She knows where we're going, and my intelligence is actually an 8, so I have a shit.
You just didn't remember, yeah.
Yeah.
I have an 8 for intelligence as well, but I do actually know.
Oh.
But
Okay.
I would presumably have taken enough notice. Of
Yeah,
existence
you
to-
know where you're going.
Because like I play my character as not being an idiot, but having a shit poor memory of most details. Your intelligence.
Yeah, I mean, she'd likely have a decent memory. I mean, she has a decent wisdom. She's just not very book learned. That's why she's got low intelligence. So yeah, she would just come out with the. She would just sort of upon realizing she's being prompted. And in Dwarvish, give the Dwarvish words for what the Crimson Mountain is, whatever that is.
It's the same. It's a very little
same.
translation. Although, of course, mountain in Dwarven is a much more meaningful word. It's basically Crimson Home, you know?
Yeah.
Is there only one word for mountain, which more or less means home, or is it one of those like there's like 30 different words?
There's more, but this is the way it's just sort of like
I imagine
for translation it's
that-
become mountain because also the Crimson Mountain. You can see this mountain range. You can see the Crimson Mountain actually while you've been walking. It's a red mountain.
Is it
For
actually?
whatever reason.
Is it actually? If it's like in Dwarvish, if it's Crimson Home, is it actually slightly inappropriate for Caitlin to say that because it would be in Dwarvish and she's not a dwarf?
No, you
Okay,
say
I was just
that.
wondering because I was going to say she.
And
knew it
he
anyway,
walks
not
over.
realising, but...
He walks over, and you actually notice he doesn't have any weapons on him right now. Left all his spears on the side of the road. But he has this bucket, and he lowers the bucket because it's quite heavy. You speak dwarf tongue. And he starts speaking common. Your compatriots do not speak dwarf tongue.
No, the other two behind me don't. I'm afraid. There's only me and Forak.
You are with Cloak Dwarf.
Yes.
You want kill marauders. Not much coin, lots of glory. Make ancestors proud.
I would sort of look back at Vale and Gil and sort of like ask them the question with my eyes.
I whisper to Vale, I think they're flirting.
I have not really witnessed dwarves flirting before, but perhaps you're right. You go for it, yes.
Then I'll turn back and say, yes, we would be happy to assist.
Oh,
That is
I've not fought with human for a long time. Nearly don't remember. Never fought with knife ear, but maybe you will make your ancestors proud. I'm sure they would enjoy killing dwarf, spilling dwarf blood. He turns back to Forak because he's been talking to the other three. You'll come with me. Kill marauders. This was only most of them. There's
So
more.
you know where the rest of them are.
Oh, yes.
Good.
They poked their heads out a little too far, but necks not long enough to hide from me.
I do like turtle soup.
And he will actually walk forward with you, but as he does, he's going to learn back to Gilwyn, and he's going to say,
This boy, this how I teach you. You learn to be impressive. You impress Caitlin very much now.
Look, Gillen's speech is just instant boner.
I look at
warn you.
Caitlin as if like Thorax crazy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Because he's a dwarf, he can't whisper. It was loud. He's husky,
So
but
does
it's
Caitlin
loud.
hear that?
Oh yeah.
Caitlin will just blush slightly with a small smile and just pretend she didn't hear it.
"Thank God he's just kidding, right?"
At this point, the
Not my
Punisher
type.
dwarf starts walking off the road north towards the mountain range, and is. Do you follow?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
And the others
With
start
with a
following,
little more shuffle in my step.
Seeing the other two hesitate a bit, he's like, "You were on. You had." He's speaking back to Thorak in Dwarven, but of course Caitlin can understand, and he knows Caitlin can understand. Your compatriots, they are on mission, aren't they? They have something else they would rather be doing than earning glory.
Yes, but before we continue with that task, I need to learn of their values.
Yes, and we are all on a mission together, but there is always time to assist in rooting out such lawbreakers as these.
Yes, lawbreakers. Dwarfs that think they can earn their money by stealing from the rich, and those who work hard every day, who sweat under the sun while they hide and they eat and they grovel. They're monsters. Belly dwarf.
He looks at Caitlin and he says,
Don't worry. Do not worry about translating for them. Elf no understand sweat.
Caitlin is a tiny bit uncomfortable with the level of what's just been said, but sort of just like nods. Is like, yes, those who break the law must be punished.
They're in mine. They took over mine long ago. We didn't know. They paid their way in, made the dwarfs keep their silence. But now we know where the rest of them are hiding. Now. And he actually reaches out, puts his hand on Thorak's shoulder, and puts his hand on, similar to how Thorak did earlier, Caitlin's hip. Now I do not fight alone.
At this point, I walk up and say, "Right, Crimson Mountain, let's go."
I sort of give Gil an odd look, not realising that he's completely out of the loop of what we're now doing.
There's a little change of plans, boy. Little change of plans.
How little? Like you little, or?
I had no reaction, like poignantly no reaction to that. He says,
Did you see heads on stake?
Yes, I saw.
His bucket is empty. We need to fill his bucket.
He raised his bucket.
You know, I'd have loved it if you just left it. His bucket is empty. Enough said.
fair enough. Sorry.
Why do we care about a dwarf's bucket? Sorry, I silly me.
I would actually attempt to explain it a bit better. I'd be like, he is. Well, I do not know how to describe it, but he is hunting down marauders, lawbreakers in the Dwarven lands, and we volunteered to assist. I thought you had agreed.
Typical humans agree to deal, try to welch out of it. They backtrack more than goblins.
I have to admit, he did say there was very little gold in it.
Yes, but isn't punishing lawbreakers reward enough?
No.
What does this dwarf look like?
He is a little bit taller than Thorak. You wouldn't know the difference, but he's a mountain dwarf. Big, honking nose, black hair, big, bushy beard and a couple of braids. His armor is heavy. Yeah. It's splint mail. He doesn't seem to have a weapon on him. He's but now that you look, the actual knuckles of his gauntlets have little sort of, not even spikes, just little sort of like diamond accents. Not full-on spikes, but...
Does it look like he represents any sort of...
Feel free to give me a flat intelligence check.
Okay.
And anyone can.
Oh, sorry, that's a saving throw.
Hey.
I'm not going to bother.
Natty 1, I get a migraine.
It's not how I like to do. Usually I wouldn't have made you fall over, but I wanted to make you fall over, Scott.
Well, I was also actively making fun of the fact that I couldn't walk straight.
I know.
I need to walk drunk to combat.
Gilwyn and Thorak, this memory sort of comes back in a burst. Something you hadn't thought about for a long time. In the Dwarven lands, there are Punishers. They're not city guard. They're not military. They're sort of similar. They probably were city guard, probably were military. They do their own thing. For the nation, they are sort of paid for by the nation. But their mission is to kill bandits. It's why, which is why Gilwyn knows, for the most part, the Dwarven lands is meant to be the most safest place for a trader. Because you're never going to get attacked by bandits, because you were told they've all been killed. And everyone knows they've all been killed. For whatever reason, they've come out of hiding. And that makes sense. That would happen every now and again. Like, this is the score we really want. But, yeah. This is something that happens. He is official. He's not like just a random adventurer doing this for fun. This is his job.
Okay.
But also you've been told that Dwarven Punishers are always a little bit doolally. They work on their own, killing people all the time.
Yeah.
In the wild, they're a little bit mental. Which is actually obvious. But his armor doesn't really show any evidence of that, aside from there is bits that like, oh, it's black. No, it was painted red. That paint has faded.
Right.
And that's the armor sort of similar to the Crimson Mountain, apparently.
Because Gilwyn's suspicion was we've just approached a dwarf, not representing anyone, putting heads on a spike and then saying, come kill people with me.
Yeah, well, you have no idea whether this guy actually is a Punisher, but he fits all the criteria.
Yep.
I sarcastically turn to Thorak and say, okay then, Thorak, point out which one of these are obviously thieves.
I'm looking back at the ones that have been half devoured by flies, maggots, mites, and fleas, and I go,
I can't tell you which one is male and which one is not.
Sometimes with these dwarves, it's hard to tell. Hey, he looks at the elf like your kind. Hey.
It is true.
Your pace too slow.
Elven men all look like women, and elven women all look like women.
He flipped it on you. Yeah, he starts actually rushing forward to get an extra stride faster than a lot of you. Knows where he's going, pointing out the way. You can all easily match that stride, but it's really whether how many of you give a fuck.
I try to match the stride, but again, you know, it's,
You're
it's
just
a bit
slow.
of a hobble. Yeah.
I'd match the stride.
I go ahead and sidle up to Caitlin as much as I can, just speed up and be like, so Caitlin, we are following two crazy dwarfs to kill more dwarfs on a mission we were not sent to do and will be paid very little for.
And in the background I go, exactly.
But you agreed to this. That was what I was asking when I...
I thought you were getting it on with him.
What?
Gilwyn
What
said
do you-
this is
what
some
gave
sort
you
of
that idea?
dwarven flirting.
What? Gil? What? That's
I
not
can't
at
speak
all.
Dwarven. It looked like you were getting along.
He was happy to meet a human who spoke Dwarven, I think. That's all it was. Oh, dear.
Oh, my bad. My
At
bad.
any rate, it's telling. It's too late to back out of this now, and besides, it will be doing a good deed for the Dwarven lands. I mean, you never know; it might even get us some credit in Crimson Mountain. It might make our future job easier.
Rather get some gold.
Well, this might make it easier to get the gold for this mission. Vale.
So you get back to quiet and grumpiness as he leads you, like he said, to a mine. Though you wouldn't have noticed, you only noticed the very moment he stepped around a corner. These marauders have made a metal and mesh fake wall of mountainside that kind of looks perfect from every angle aside from the very angle he then sharply turns to walk into, which makes sense that they've been hiding for a while. But of course it's not the best construction. It's not one of those things you walk under it and it creaks. You're like,
As we walk past the mountain, like as we're walking into it or whatever, like coming within touching range, I'm actually going to stop. And it looks like my character's stopping and grabbing the wall to catch his breath. But as he's grabbing the wall to catch his breath, once again, he starts that same chant again, where he's like, and then it was same thing, like he cracks a stone beneath his hand and reaches his fist through the stone, and it starts to like roll up and roll over to his body and take over huge chunks of his body. He'll leave his cloak up for now, but he is walking without that strange hobble, without that limp that he was before.
he's full of energy. And the Punisher walks forward to the mouth of the mine, which is very clearly a mine from this angle. But now that you've walked in, like, are you fairer folk ready?
I am fairer.
Yes, I believe we are. Gilwyn, would you mind being on torch duty again? I think we'll probably need one.
Yeah. Yes. Can I? Where am I standing? Just
You
point
can
me there?
arrange
Next to
yourself.
me,
At the moment,
next to
yeah.
me, Gilwyn. Come here. I'll look after you.
Okay.
Not that you need it after that impressive sword work. I saw those nipples.
The Punisher dwarf slowly
nipples.
looks at Thorak, and then slowly
He just
backs
shrugs.
inside the cave.
He just shrugs. That's all. Drawing a shield. Shrugs.
Now for the
Caitlin
fun
with the
part.
shield and
Yeah,
all
no
that
excuse
as
for
well.
the nipples. Sorry.
Now for the funnest part. And he
You're falling.
gets out a tiny little sort of almost like a harmonica whistle type thing and blows very loudly into the cave. And you actually can hear Thorak and Caitlin. He's actually it's almost a dwarven word. It's like a look out. It's like he's taunting them that they're gonna know he's coming. And as he whistles loudly into the cave, probably pissing off you guys too, because it's like, oh great, now we don't even have a stealth advantage. I think that's gonna be where we end it for today. I mean, with next week you walking into a mine full of marauders. I mean, that's a lovely place to stop for session 1. You got a lot of stuff done, and you actually get along, which is very surprising. Knowing your characters, each one being made separately, I'm like, ugh. Ugh.
Yeah, I think all I knew was that there was going to be. I was told there was going to be a paladin and a rogue.
Yeah.
When I streamed making the character, and that was it. That was it. That's all I knew. Nothing. And I think the other one's a bard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
character was the first made, I think. So, or at least the first concept. So it was just like, okay, I'm just going to make whatever I want, and everyone else can try and see how that fits in with everyone else.
I mean, at this point, I suppose it's more obvious because we're level 1, but at this point it would be difficult to say, like, actually, Caitlin isn't a fighter, Caitlin's a paladin.
Oh, jeez.
Exactly.
Or I'm a rogue, or even
sort
that that Scott is necessarily a sorcerer, other than a little bit of magic that's been shown.
All right.
Yeah, I must admit, I didn't know Stone Sorcerers. So.
Stum, quiet, behave. My show. I get to be power mad now, and with my mad power, Neil, everywhere there, At this part in the show, we pimp our channels. Of course, you and Ian have nothing to pimp. But what do you do? Do you want to whatever? Okay. Do you have something to say to the fans at home, to the kids at home?
If you want weeb content, follow me.
Candy.
Yeah, left the candy back home. You got anything to say, Neil? As was me asking you want to say anything as we leave.
Not really. I mean, I'm not particularly active on social media. You can find me on my Twitter handle. If you want to ask me questions, stuff, feel free to there. I actually know quite a bit about Jarviskjir universe because I've been playing in it for quite a couple of years now.
Exactly.
Sometimes you see me retweet League of Legends stuff like that, like Arvine's posts, those sort of things. But other than that, I don't really do too much.
Yeah, I mean, I know a bit about Jarviskjir as well, not as much as Neil, but my Twitter is a bit more active, although it is mostly sort of very weeby content.
It's very weeby content, and then every Monday, it's what happened in D&D.
Yeah.
So that's what you want. Dean, you gotta have something interesting to say. You're an interesting person.
If you guys want to follow me on any of the social medias, Dean Cutty is where you'll find me on everything. Including YouTube. I've just uploaded a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds analysis video.
It's fucking good.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a fun romp. I actually really enjoyed that. I actually laugh. You know how often you actually laugh at a video on the internet? Like, not often.
Listen, okay, I've literally watched every one of Dean's videos. I laugh at all of them because it's fucking hilarious. I haven't seen that one yet, so no spoilers.
I die at the end of the video. It's a terrific tragedy.
He's actually dead now. He's actually also undead like you, Scott.
And if you want to check out some music, I guess you could go take a look at More Than Machines, Hull, which is my band. I sing and play the guitar in there.
You've already heard you have the voice of a nightingale.
Just makes sense to play a bard, you know.
Yeah. And finally, I guess if you want to see more of my editing skills and a good friend of mine, Judge Mathis, on the channel Judge Mathis, go over there for some retro video game reviews.
Awesome. And Scott, I get to turn the camera onto you for once.
I know.
What do you do, Scott?
Someone's
what
looking.
do you do?
Let's see, I'm 25 years-ish of playing tabletops, most of those being primarily the DM of almost every game. So I do DM over on Lost Initiative. Currently only one of the shows with Mathis Games being the DM on the other one, which is weird. But DM one of those, it's Tuesday nights. I DM on my channel earlier today, it's twitch.tv/DailRickMaster. I DM a Mass Effect game on Wednesdays. Take that hour break to come into this game, which is awesome. We're Ollie DMs. Then on Thursdays, Mathis is DMing a vampire game for me, which is loads of fun. Cool people over there. Then on Friday, I'm over on Roll4It, where EE DMs a game that I play. And then Friday night, there's another game on 9:30 Eastern Standard where I DM. And oh god, 6 games a week, 6 tabletop games a week. Yeah. I think I need more. I still have time on Monday. I think I need to work something out on Monday. Yeah. I got time on Monday.
Got some more. Got some dice.
And then if I find time, I really need to play some Dream Daddy.
You do need to play Dream Daddy. It's gonna be good. And now we get to talk about me. I know a lot of
everybody have yourselves a great night. Thank you.
My show. I know a lot of new people showed up, which is bueno. I'm Ollie. I'm actually an artist most of the time. This is the exception, not the rule. On Tuesdays and Fridays at 9 PM BST, I do art streams. Usually I'm doing a commission or something. If I don't have any commissions, I just do like fantasy doodles. I often do a thing where I draw random NPCs. I'll probably draw the NPCs from this game if I don't have anything to do tomorrow or Friday. And on Fridays, I'm on Scott's show. I play a necromancer who is adorable, but not at the moment because that's currently on break. And earlier on Wednesdays, I'm on Scott's Mass Effect show where I play a pilot who is an asshole. He wasn't originally going to be an asshole, but he is an asshole.
Tell flow through, my child.
Oh yes. And on Sundays I do a game stream, and whenever else I find time, because this is like my life at this point. Sundays I do a game stream, and at the moment I'm playing Dark Souls, and it's a good time. I've gone through the point of hating the game back into enjoying the game.
Oh, happy.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
so
surprised
nice.
too. I'm still mad at it most of the time, but I'm enjoying it.
Have you started rolling now?
Yes. I had to do Sif. There's a lot of rolling. But anyway, that's me. And with that, I'm gonna say goodbye to all of you. Goodbye, internet people.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Beautiful.